G'day, it's Mark here at KombiLife. We're at the 2026 Newcastle Caravan and Camping Show. First one of the year, and I'm with Paul. Paul, congratulations on an absolutely awesome build.
Thank you.
We spent January building. It went out at the very back end of January 2026. It's the all-new Crafter, and there's a lot going on. This is our new standard build for 2026, and Paul is going to talk us through some of the features. Paul, firstly, the frontal protection features here, what have you done?
Yeah, we've got a nudge bar here, so we've moved the sensors onto the nudge bar. It's a very nice, strong nudge bar right onto the chassis rail, so it's very strong. Stronger than average for your nudge bar with all the sensors.
Yeah, well, you can climb on this. You can even sit on this. It's absolutely fine. We've got extra driving light mounts here, and also a UHF aerial mount down here. So some people will put the laser lights here, and others will put in the large driving lights there as well. So this is particularly robust, corrugated roads. The driving lights won't wobble as you have on some of these other ones. So going forward, we also have some additional features of the tyres. So we have the Bridgestone Duelers on this particular one. They're a light truck tyre. It's a particularly sensitive choice because this particular vehicle is GVM upgraded to 3.88 tonnes. So we do need to make sure that we're on track with light truck tyres here. So this is a 245/70 R16, and yeah, this perfectly suits the current model Crafter on the factory 16-inch wheels, which is a no-cost option to get that from the factory in black, as we have here. My personal preference, have the 16s with the larger tyres rather than the 17s personally. Paul, moving inside, actually before we even move inside, I'm just enjoying the shade now.
Yeah,
so what's going on?
From the we've got the F45, Fiamma F45S awning, which is a 3.5 metre, gives you loads of shade, mounted onto one of our racks with the floodlights that give you loads of light. They're adjustable lights. You've got amber, you've got white adjustment on them as well, and turn them on from the driver's seat.
I'll go and do that now. I'll just turn that in and on and off.
So you can sit in the driver's seat, turn those on and off to give you light all around where you're driving up dark tracks. We've got lights on the rear and on the other side there.
So we have multiple light switches here for internal and external lighting, all controllable from the driver's cabin, which, as Paul just mentioned, can be really, really useful to control that when on dark tracks. That's
definitely. Right. You've got this exterior table, which is great for something like an induction cooker.
Where do you plug that one in?
The induction cooker just plugs into the side here, which is part of the inverter, so you're completely off-grid. Never gets blown out by the wind because it's induction, and you can also put an extension lead on that and have that on a table further away. Just underneath as well, we've got some small foot storage. So this is for your thongs, your shoes, just stored underneath there, out of the way, just in case they're muddy or wet.
And that's backlit?
That is backlit.
So you will see what's going on in there.
Small light there. It's a little bit difficult to see in the daylight.
So Paul, carrying on with the electricals, we just put the induction there momentarily, but just talk us through the electricals. A lot of vans I see use up some of the valuable floor space for their electrical setup, but that's not the case here, is it?
Absolutely not, no. We've got a 314 amp hour lithium battery under the driver's seat with a display just in front of it here, and you've got USBs and USB-Cs in front of it as well. And then under the passenger seat, we've got a 2,500 watt inverter, which is your complete off-grid power. So anything you plug into the house, you can plug into this, and give you enough for an induction cooker, kettle, coffee machine, whatever you want to use. We've been using this all day for our coffees, toasties, everything like that.
Can I monitor the battery?
You can monitor the
Where
battery.
do I do that?
In front of the battery, you've got a screen, and you've also got a screen at the top here.
And what's it reading?
It's reading 99%. I've been using it all day. I've been trying to draw it down, but the solar just keeps powering it back up again.
So we talked about the roof earlier.
Yeah.
So we've got the Fiamma on the roof. You says mounted the platform. That's our new cross-country summit platform for Crafter mid-wheelbase. How did that go together? Was your first time you built one?
Yeah, very solid. I really like the way that was. It was an extremely solid build, no flex in it. Feels really firm, nice platform to mount the solar to.
Really strong. Yeah. So the solar, so first of all, before we quite touch on the solar there, this is a RedArc setup, isn't it?
It certainly is.
It's a RedArc setup. So we've got some very special features on the DC-DC charger for the battery. That's our primary replenishment method. So talk about our primary replenishment method.
That is a RedArc Alpha DC-DC 50 amp. When you're driving, you're charging the battery with 50 amps every hour, and also you've got a charge back feature on that as well. So just in case the starter battery goes flat, you get any problems, you can charge back from the lithium battery to the starter battery to get you out of trouble.
That's really innovative, because a lot of these vehicles are becoming more electrically heavy. There's just a lot going on with it, with the new vehicles, digital dashboards and lighting and so on. We see that in the passenger vehicles as well. 12-volt batteries going flat from time to time, so we can now have a fully charged under-seat auxiliary lithium battery, now replenishing that start battery, but it can also replenish a second way. Not just when I invoke that on the app for self-recovery, but also from the roof. So tell me about the roof and the charge-through functions.
So we've got 400 watts of solar on the roof here via two 200-watt RedArc panels. And obviously that charges through your RedArc Alpha, so that will charge the lithium battery, and then it charges back to the starter battery as well.
When the lithium's full.
When the
so
lithium
effectively
is
we're
full.
pretty full now at 99%. So the RedArc, bearing in mind, why do we have the DC-DC charge and not just a direct connect? We've got differing chemistries. So the start battery is an amorphous glass mat AGM lead acid battery, whereas this is a lithium ferrous phosphate 4 battery. And so the DC-DC charger manages charge profiles, absorption method. The RedArc's smart enough to know to charging the lithium, or is it charging the AGM, change the profile and absorption voltages, which is really important, so that we don't overcharge the batteries, because that's not good at all to overcharge the batteries. So going on further, just quickly with that electrical, Paul, we plug the induction cooker in here from here, but I don't see any cables here running from that inverter down there.
No.
So how does that happen?
Well, the cable's running via the cabinetry to the inverter, to the back of the inverter, so you don't see anything, it's just plug and play, and that means we can have power from this socket. You can also spur off this by plugging another cable into it to have a power point elsewhere in the vehicle, like if you wanted it at the back of the vehicle, for anything else at the rear of the vehicle. We just put one double GPO in this at the moment, but you can have more.
Yeah, so we can daisy chain them through, and that's using the very innovative Australian CMS cabling system, which is a certified 240 volt plug and play cabling system to allow us to
Make our coffee.
Make our coffee and have all our electrical appliances. And actually, we possibly didn't correctly introduce this vehicle. It is a Volkswagen Crafter, of course, but we would definitely consider this our off-grid Crafter, correct?
Definitely.
So we often get asked, yes, but where can I hook up to the grid? I'm at the caravan park, I want to plug in. Why don't we do that, Paul? Why are we not plugging in?
Why do you need to?
Exactly. So we'd think if you're running out of power, but it's pretty hard
Pretty
to
difficult
even
to
get
run out of power.
below 50% on this thing,
Yeah.
I'd say. Even on cloudy days, there's so much energy under that driver's seat with a 314. The only thing I can think of I need more power is when I run aircon. I want off-grid aircon. But then what would we do if we wanted off-grid aircon? We'd have a second battery under this seat and relocate the inverter and have 628 amps on board to run off-grid aircon. That occasionally comes up as a question, and that would be feasible with one of the in-cabin air conditioners like a Truma Sophia, for example.
Absolutely.
So that's good. So thank you for explaining the off-grid nature of this vehicle.
Yeah, that's
no
fine.
external hookup, plenty of power on board. What else are we using the power for in here, Paul?
Well, we're using the power for probably the most important part, which is why you don't need aircon that often. You've got a roof vent here, which is the Maxxair dome, which means that it can open at any point. It's got a temperature sensor on it, so if it gets too hot in here, it will open automatically and pull all the hot air out. No rain will come in because it's got the dome on top of it, so you're safe from the weather. Plus you've got the Scirocco fan at the back here. Now I've had these on all day. The fan, both the fans, the lights, the floodlights on the roof have not even touched the power on the battery. And the fridge is running, of course, as well.
Where's the fridge? I haven't seen it.
The fridge, we've got a 60-litre fridge just here, nice upright fridge with a small freezer. Gives you the ability to store milk and things without them falling over and spilling all over the place. Obviously, there's nice 60 litres there with a freezer, and you can have a second fridge under the bed if you wanted more fridge space.
So if I wanted to bring my double compressor fridge, my Dometic CFX95 with 2 compressors, running one as a fridge and one as a freezer for my long desert journey, would I have enough power?
Put it. Yeah, absolutely. Wouldn't be a problem with power. And we just go around the back here, and you see from the back, we've got a slider ready for your fridge, tie it down onto the slider. You've got access to your fridge, lots of fridge space. You've got power points at the back, USBs, USB-Cs, just on the back there, Anderson plug.
Oh, it's on both sides.
It's on. We've got 2 panels, one on each side.
How good is that? That's really good.
And this box you're looking at here is a diesel hot water and heating system. So in here you've got a diesel heater, diesel hot water system, sorry, that gives you your hot water supply from the diesel tank of the vehicle. So you haven't got to have a separate tank for your diesel. It all runs off the same tank as the vehicle does. Gives you a lot of hot water from the shower at the back. So we've got the mixer tap, shower at the back here. And I've also put a shower off the tap in the sink in the kitchen. So you've got a shower off the side as well.
So are there internal shower options?
There are internal shower options, yet we're working on that at the moment. So we're working on a fold down shower tray that you can put on the inside.
Not a big permanent cubicle.
No.
So why don't we do that? Because a few people come here and say, oh, where's the big shower cubicle? And you had some interesting comments. That's often a question from someone who hasn't used one of these vans yet.
It's funny because the more often than not, I'll get that question from people that haven't bought a motorhome before.
Yes.
And they immediately think, I need a shower and a toilet.
Yes.
Because that's what I need. But if you've owned a motorhome before, you'll realise that shower and toilet just doesn't get used that much. Maybe the toilet, but the shower ends up being a storage cubicle for anything you chuck in there. It can generally be a waste of space. It's more often than not, we're trying to look at innovative ideas in a way to utilise the space that you've got without wasting the space that you've got.
So as we mentioned earlier on a conversation with a customer here today, I might use that shower cubicle if it was in the van for 1% of the time of my waking hours, or 2%, because they tend to have shorter showers based on their water capacity.
Exactly.
And it takes up 17% or something of the actual available floor space and all the visual space inside the van. So it makes it feel smaller and more claustrophobic, and I'm not using it really that much.
Exactly.
So the internal shower would be a very innovative fold-down system with magnetic shower curtain, and it just retracts away and doesn't impact what you see now inside here. So that's coming as an innovation for 2026. The prototypes have already been built.
You have got 100 litres of fresh water in this vehicle. You can have 200 litres as well, you know, but at the same time you don't want to be wasting water on 10-minute showers.
So we've got 100 litres on board. That means we've preserved our spare tyre, as it's under the vehicle still, isn't it?
Exactly.
So I haven't had to put the wheel on the outside of the vehicle, although I could if I had additional tanks here. Is there grey water available for this?
There is, yes. There's a grey water, 40 litre grey water tank.
Right, so if I really want to stealthily camp and not have expressing any water outside the vehicle in that particular environment, we've got that.
That can be done, and that will work part and parcel with the shower that we're working on as well.
Yes. We should have been clear perhaps in this video, it's not yet, this is a mid-wheelbase crafter. There are motorhomes that are long wheelbase and sometimes even extra long wheelbase. So the mid-wheelbase is at 6 meters long in round terms, 5.98 or something like that. Long is 7 and extra long is 8. Why are we going with the mid-wheelbase?
Because you can park it. It's as simple as that.
So you are a crafter owner.
I am a crafter owner.
You drive a crafter almost every day. Okay. So and you also, I guess, go to the shops. You go to work, or of course you go to work. We've been building this.
I do go to work. So, otherwise I get in trouble with the boss.
So but it's a mid-wheelbase, so we can literally park it in any on-grade parking.
Yeah.
Go to Coles down at Burley Heads or whatever. Absolutely. We can park there, no problem at all. Once we get in that long wheelbase space at 7 meters,
gets a lot more.
We're now hunting.
Yeah.
We're really hunting for where can I somehow find a double parallel park space.
Yeah.
Because I can't really manoeuvre that in the car.
And my turning circle is significantly better in the medium wheelbase than it is in the long wheelbase.
So that has some consequences, that when we go to a mid wheelbase to try and maintain our floor space, and we're standing here at the bed, and there's a bit of a difference here. So it's not so visible. Maybe if we close that door there, our generous cameraman and workshop manager can just see what's on the outside here. Can you explain what's on the outside here that we're zooming in on now?
Yeah, what we've done there is it's a side pod. So we put a side pod that flares out the side by about 200 mil, just giving you enough. So now we've got a width of 1.9 meters from one side to the other, which gives you enough to sleep in. The side pod is a permanent fixture. It's fiberglass. We painted this one black to make it look like a window. so that it still is in keeping with the van.
That's fantastic. So, and actually we have another feature here, but the van may be locked. No, it's not locked. We've got a new feature here, which is our gas strut assistance to open the door. So that's a gas strut assistance on both doors, in fact.
And the gas strut assistance is going to be part and parcel with an awning that's going to be working off the rear doors. So that is also a new innovation that's coming in 2026. There will be an awning that comes off the barn doors to give you protection out the back.
So we can see here it's gas strut assistant. That's really, really nice because we have optional door pockets here from Van der Moon, and that can create some extra storage in these doors and extra weight, of course, then in these doors. So getting back to our side pod slash flare, we then can orient in our mid-wheelbase 6-meter van the bed east-west. So that gives us the consequence of far more interior living space rather than having the bed typically north-south, which then brings almost 2 meters of incursion into the cabin.
Correct.
Whereas what's the width of this bed, Paul?
The width is just 135 centimeters.
So instead of almost 2 meters incursion into the van, we have 135 centimeters. So we're saving really with the pod, we're saving really 65 centimeters into the van space. So it's an extra 65 centimeters of living space as we go back into the van.
And
now.
you can use a standard double fitted sheet on that mattress.
Yeah. So we've just talked about the hot water system at the back. We've got the hot showers. Let's have a look at the sink and the kitchen cabinets here.
So kitchen cabinet here, this kitchen unit is made of aluminium. You can see from the drawers, very lightweight and strong aluminium. Nice big drawers, 3 of them on this side, lots of space for storing everything you need. And then the sink at the top here, not deep enough for washing up and use whatever you need to use it for, brushing your teeth and so on and so forth. The tap is a kitchen mixer, but also has a shower attachment. So you can add this shower attachment onto the front of this, and then you've got another shower outside of the van, which is quite useful. You know, if you want to do the washing up, I've used this a lot, and it's a lot more convenient having this set up. Wash up outside, you can make as much mess as you want, it doesn't really matter. It's not going to go all over the inside of the kitchen.
You could have those
cabinet.
Collapsible sink bowls even if you want it, which is pretty cool. That's common to find at the
You're
caravan
camping. At the end of the day, you want to be outside. And,
That's right.
If you can cook or wash up or do whatever you need to do outside, it's just a lot more convenient.
That's right. So that's the hot water there. Now, one of the challenges in any van is storing my stuff.
Yeah.
So, and another challenge in a lot of these vans is the Crafters typically have 3.55 ton gross vehicle mass. Every Crafter we sell has the 3.88 ton mid-wheelbase gross vehicle mass. Gets an extra 330 kilograms because they have 100 litres of water. That's 100 kilos straight away.
Absolutely.
So we often have weight challenges if we are on a 355. This is 388, but nonetheless we have these lightweight overhead cabinets, which are really generous with storage. So Paul, talk us through a little bit about the overhead cabinets.
Love the Van der Moon moon boxes. So these cabinets are made of aluminium wrapped in fabric. So basically they're very light. They're also very convenient because with 4 bolts, you just undo them, take them out. For me, that's really convenient because it means that I can get behind them. I can add cables if I need to. All motorhomes that you see these days have overhead cabinets that are permanently fixed. They are glued and screwed in, you're never going to get them out. Whereas these, I can take them out, I can work behind it, I can put an extra cable in if I need to. It's flexibility.
And they're held in on airline track or anchor track, which
Anchor
the eagle-eyed of this video would have seen anchor track on the slide-out tray.
True.
Where we can secure that fridge-freezer combo. So the same thing is running along the side and the roof of this vehicle.
Yep.
And then we can anchor these overhead storages.
Which also means that if I wanted to, I could take these 2 out, change them for a different size one if I wanted to, or a different colour.
Or if I later put a shower cubicle in there, because that's what I've decided to do, one of them could come out.
Exactly. It's flexibility, absolute flexibility, and soft as well.
Are there any?
Knock your head on it, you know you're not going to knock yourself out.
So we can. I just noticed all these little clips and so on. So it's pretty innovative. I've got underside storage as well.
You've got underside storage. You've got front clips. You can, if you're quickly doing your washing up.
Want that to dry out?
You want this to dry out. You just hang it on the front there. You know, it's just ease of use, really.
Very good. And I noticed you have a remote control there.
Oh,
Tell
yes.
me about that.
Well, the lights, obviously we've got a switch panel at the front there that controls all the lights, so we can literally, from the driver's seat, switch these lights off in the cabin. But we've also got a small remote which will do our dimming, so we can dim these lights right down, because at night this is extremely bright in here, so we can dim them right down. We can also turn them off from the remote as well, so if you go into bed you can just flick your lights off from the remote, no problem.
That's not the only remote in this vehicle. What else have you got?
We've got the remote for the diesel
Yes.
hot water system.
And you've also got another remote, which is just there, which is your...
Oh, the remote for the fan, of course you have. I always
There's
forget
so
about
much
this.
going on in this van.
So this remote for the Maxxair fan gives you complete control over the Maxxair fan. You can switch it to auto, manual, open, closed, air in or out, and you can also set the temperature, which
when it automatically comes on.
when you set it to auto, I'll set it to 32 degrees, and then as soon as it gets to 32 degrees, the vent will open itself, the fan will turn itself on, and then it will pull all the hot air out, so your vehicle is never going to get too hot. I think one of the best features about this fan, because I just love that, I leave mine on auto all the time to make sure it doesn't get too hot.
And you're not worried about the battery running dry because it's got so much power. And look, it doesn't consume that much power. So the Scirocco at the back, that's the most expensive little cabin fans we can find. They're made in Canada, in a French part of Canada there, Caframo, and they're about $200, something like that. And they're very low power draw. Sometimes our own display can't pick up that it's actually running.
Yeah, quiet, low power draw.
Under half an amp.
And 360 degree rotation.
That's
so
right.
You can put them in
and the Maxxair above us is obviously a bit more than the Caframo, but nonetheless, it's what, 2 amps or something like that. It's very, very low.
Very low.
Privacy in the vehicle, we have curtains installed. So they're very quick and easy to operate, these blackout curtains. So they will give it a limo look. From the outside, because it's totally black on the outside. So you do have instant privacy in this part of the van. I think there's 5 curtains. You've got this one, the sliding door, the rear window, which is a factory window. All the windows in here are from factory. And then 2 curtains on the barn doors for instant privacy. Up the front, not installed because we want to keep a bit of light in here at the moment. But we can see on the vehicle next to us there, that one has the thermal mats, the silvery thermal mats. So we don't go with curtain material there, even though there is cab curtains available. The reason is there's a lot of heat. I can feel it behind me now. There's a lot of heat coming in and out in summer in through the windscreen here, and then in winter a lot of heat departs through that windscreen. So we have the thermal mats for the front cabin, providing light security, so it's darker, and the dawn doesn't necessarily wake you up, or a street light if you're doing some stealth camping in an urban environment. And also the heat remains in winter and the sun doesn't come in summer. So I often put my thermal mats out in summer during the day, just to keep the cabin a bit cooler.
Just to keep it cool,
That's right. So, so I'm confident there's something forgotten. Actually, in this space here, this is a little bit of a funny setup. We've just got a camp chair and a table here. It's not because we're too lazy to build something here, but it's to leave and open that discussion about what would you like. So a recent van we did end of last year, a dark grey van that had a bit of a sofa type of thing there, and other cases. What else typically goes in this space?
You can put a seat there with seat belts, so if there's 4 of you, say there's 2 children or whatever, you could have a double seat there with seat belts, or if somebody has got a 10 grand mountain bike, for instance, which a lot of them are now unfortunately, you could actually put that there, and you could put 2 mountain bikes there and keep it inside. And also, because of the way we've done this bed, this is removable. So if you wanted to, you could take the bed off and put a motorbike straight down the middle. Obviously, that is part of the flexibility that we're trying to create with this build. Because we've had so many questions from so many different people about what they want from a van. Your standard build with shower, toilet, cramped space isn't always what people want. People do want to take bikes, they want to take mountain bikes, they want to take motorbikes, they want to take other things with them they don't particularly want on the outside of the vehicle because they can get stolen.
That's right, so they might even have skis and snowboards and boots on that tray there.
Supboard straight down the middle, still got that flexibility, still got that option.
Yeah, so Contact KombiLife. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel there. There's good material, good updates. These videos are a little bit longer, but they try to be very informative. They're one-take videos. It's just as we see it, as we call it, as we see it, as we say. And we have some limited number of build slots remaining for 2026. But we'd love to hear about how you plan to see Australia and how you plan to travel and what you plan to take with you, and see if this is the right fit for you. We're at the Newcastle Caravan and Camping Show 2026, end of January. This film was shot. But we'll be at the Gold Coast Show next weekend. We'll be at the Sydney Rose Hill Show in April, and definitely in Canberra in October. And we will look forward to seeing you at one of those events or in our showrooms on the Gold Coast in Sydney. Thanks for watching. Paul, congratulations on such a good build. I know the team did such a good job in the Gold Coast of building this out. There's a lot more drivetrain options for this as well, just in terms of underbody protection with engine guards and fuel tank guards and diff guards and so on and so forth, lift kits, other items to go onto the roof. There's more. The KombiLife website has all of that. But look forward to seeing you at one of the events, and thanks for watching.